All right, everybody, let's get to it for Tuesday. Welcome back. What's going on for a new week? Shout out to the chat. Hey, James, APV, Masterson Trust, Evan, everyone else that's here, especially our new people. Please check into harmonictrader.com, register now as a basic member, and then again, this is repetition for most, but for the new people, send your username to hpc at sr-analyst.com to get hooked up with the TradingView Harmonic Pattern Collection product. That's what we work with. That's what we're doing today, and let's take a look. Let's jump right into crypto to start the day and just talk about the sudden drop that happened last week back into some daily levels that I've been mentioning for a while, that we're still here in a short-term kind of oversold brief high-level correction, and we're now dealing with two oversold levels, this one from the 21st of April and now just the most recent one from Thursday, Friday. That little collapse looked a lot scarier than I think it really is. So those altcoins and everything that that we talked about, that they looked like garbage on Thursday as they were hitting, stabilized. You didn't get any damage over the weekend. Bitcoin managing to hold the 27,000 level. The 4-hour chart is what we're really looking at here. A couple of patterns in that high level support, essentially around 26,900, 27,000. There's a bat pattern. There's a crab pattern. You could get further testing, probing of this 26.3, 26 level, maybe, as we grind at this relatively high level here. But listen, we do have an HSI, a new HSI that just developed, so that kind of takes precedent. And if you check back at 26.6, 26,700 and stabilize maybe there instead of 27,000, that's all right. And we've been saying, roughly 26.7 is a pretty firm number we want to look at. So, we're just kind of sitting here letting air out of the tire after that big move from March into April. And, going to be in a harmonic pause, probably 30 days, 30 bars. Go from the top. Go from there to there. There's 30 days from the last peak. And we did now generate an HSI second one within that window. But generally, there's not a heck of a lot there on the daily chart like some of the other altcoins we've talked about, where a bunch of new situations did develop recently. I'm fine with that. Don't freak out about that. I think everyone just was like, psh, it's just like a manic attitude on crypto. You go from moon phase to, back to the toilet phase. Ethereum is just retesting the support at 1800. Nothing's changed on that either. And I'd have to say, 5 days, 6 days of stabilization at 1800 is somewhat constructive for now. Again, last time we were in here on Thursday, it looked really ugly. Just because of the way that this dropped into that zone on the retest. But long weekend, not a heck of a lot, but no further damage, no follow through. Take it. Take it. Run with it. Those are the top two. Number 3, of course, Binance Coin. We'll just rip through the top 5 here. Again, nothing really changing here except for just trying to stabilize 305, 310 level. What was there was something here on the 4-hour, wasn't there? Yeah, deep crab. So Binance Coin, okay, a little further along on the 4-hour chart, but there's a perfect type 1. And then maybe Binance Coin comes in, check 305 over the next 24, 48 hours for a bounce, a type 2 reversal to 325. Yeah, that could happen. And still be quite range bound, but that's the type 2 right there. Keep an eye on that one. Number 3, that's number 3. Number 4, we've mixed this up so much, but XRP doesn't change. This has got a 4-hour pattern down here at 42 cents. Pretty much doesn't matter if it's 35 cents or 42 cents or even 50 cents, because we know what the deal is. For XRP, you're waiting for 90 cents. 92.8 is target 1. You're down here fishing this zone for a long time. Could be another 3, 6 months or even year. Who knows? Who knows how long those guys want to hold on to that case? They could trap them for years. But you're trying to get to target 1. No matter if it's, again, 50, 45, 40, 42, whatever. And you can just go off of like a 4-hour. Should see a little bit of a bounce off of here, I would suspect. Nice bat formation. It's holding. I just don't expect fireworks. Yeah. The final one, again, Cardano, I guess is the best way to, probably our best number 5. Like I've been saying, and it will continually repeat this, I would wait for the full type 2 on this one. Wait for a full crab retest. That's 28.2. That could take a long time, but I want to go with 2 of 2 patterns. Definitely. That's going to be the final signal. If we're going to look for something structurally, we want to see a 2 of 2. Type 1 reversal, come back, retest it, and then do something larger. So that's not going to change anytime soon for Cardano, and the 2 of 2 phenomenon just keeps repeating over and over again. And I'll just blast through these because they're great examples to really pound into your head of what crypto needs to be doing. So here's Doge, probably one of the weaker of the cryptos, no doubt, just not doing anything. Give me a confirmation down here on the type 2. It's hitting structurally at 6.99 cents, but show me something down here, because that's a full retest now. It's definitely one of them. What was the other one? I think I showed this anchor, but this was a new pattern. This anchor. No, it wasn't anchor. It was Gala. I keep forgetting Gala. I know we got Justin in here. He's the number 1 Gala supporter. And so this is better. Here's Gala, folks. It's 2 of 2, and this is exactly the spot we want to see. Yesterday was a retest of the dot low. You almost had a shakeout. You did have a shakeout. What happened there? Oh, that was the data feed. Really tough. There you go. 2 different data feeds giving you different reads, but you're 2.89, 2.8 generally. That is exactly the kind of 2 of 2 we want to look for. Really setting up for crypto. And again, a couple days ago, we were here. And Gala was, we've been talking about Gala since above the 4s. And I'm saying, look, this has got to come back to 3.2 at a minimum, 3.5, hop level at 2.89. And there you go. So there's a hop. That's a 2 of 2 off the shark. And now you've got a yellow dot confirmation. So bunch of these setting up like that where better than before. Here's another one where Ethereum Classic almost got down to this 17 level again, looking for a dot around 17. It's at 18 at the moment, but that would have given us a full retest, and we have, Ethereum Classic as well. Oh, where'd you go? Where's that weekly? Sorry, there's a weekly butterfly right in here. I think this is it. Nope. Come on, where is it? There it is. So this is the big to do on something like Ethereum Classic, and this is longer term, but again, we're looking for crypto now on a weekly and daily that's 2 of 2, retesting support, and now we want to see a trigger, a long-term trigger in this level, next test. And look, HSI is not there yet, but Ethereum Classic on the weekly could slide down in here and trigger a big weekly HSI. On the daily, it got close, but it's the kind of thing where the whole 2 of 2 phenomenon, like if we were looking for some things to set up that would give us a better environment for a larger aggressive move, it's going to have to be the 2 of 2. So keep an eye on that one. A couple new people coming in. What's going on? Hey, Joshua, appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, J-Man, I can look at ETH and Bitcoin comparative chart in a second. Yeah, Filecoin. Filecoin's another one. It's a retest of long levels. It's kind of like ICP. And just looking for a trigger like that. It's a sloppy type 2. This is Filecoin. There's your bat pattern. Did a type 1 up to 8. Came all the way back down. Look, 555 was minimum, but hopping around 386 is your bottom end support. Give me something in there, between 4 and 5 generally. You're 440 now. Even if you bought it at 5, you're probably not going to get hurt. But you're looking in that general 4 to 5 level for Filecoin. And certainly, look, don't think moon. Just think somewhere between 4 and 5 to get me back to 750 or 8. Don't get crazy. Oh, you know what? Here's the one that I really again, I've brought this up many times, and it's not an endorsement, but this hex, okay, there was 2 of 2 pattern. I mean, we have an alternate bat now. Oh, here it is. All right, so check it out. Hex, I need a PhD to sit down and explain to me this hex situation of their airdrop and swapping crypto. I'm not really going to get into it, but I'm looking at Hex as another crypto example. Crappy crypto. No offense to anybody that owns Hex, believes in Hex. Just one of these lower tier coins that went through and did a type 1, type 2, did your reaction, went to your target, and had to come back for another full retest of the crab pattern at 3.8. We did it in dramatic fashion over the weekend, and I just don't know how anybody is still alive in this thing to go from 8 cents to 3 cents. I know they got an airdrop of other coins, but boy, I don't know. I mean, it is something where it's almost seems to me they exchange Hex, which isn't worth a lot, for something less. And I don't, and then I heard they were having problems. So this is my issue with crypto. Like if this was any other market and you would say, hey, I'm going to swap this class A stock for a class B stock, but we're not going to value it. We're going to swap it first and then we'll tell you the value later. I don't know. It all seems crazy to me, but in terms of Hex, like if you wanted to have an opportunity in actually Hex itself, this is almost perfect 2 of 2 situation, at least for the retest here, that if you're at 3 on Hex, even with this bat pattern, we should see some kind of a bounce back to 6.3. You got a couple of back-to-back patterns here. Certainly 2 cents is a floor for this. And I'm just looking at that more for kind of a model of how crypto unfolds. I'm not touching that. Not touching that, but I do want everyone, the takeaway is that if you're looking at your favorite crypto and wondering if it's going to come back and do a type 2, or just looking at the software in terms of the framework, let Hex be an example that we have talked about where it did a huge, amazing run, 10x run off the low from January to March. But here it is. I don't care if you got airdropped whatever. It's the primary asset of Hex did another full harmonic reset, 88.6% retracement of these spike gains. And that's the problem with crypto. If something goes from pennies, 2 cents to 12 cents, that's 600%. That's not sustainable. You're going to get a retracement. And in this case, all the way back for the full 886 again. Let that be a lesson. I mean, I think we need to see Bitcoin and Ethereum really running before we can expect a lot from these alt markets. Altcoins are just dragging. And when I see this kind of stuff, it was a big deal, and thousands of Twitter posts, people getting all worked up about it. It reminds me of 2 years ago right at the top. A couple more. Here's, I think we talked Phantom last week. I think there was a 4-hour. Isn't there a bat down here? Oh, no, it was, it was a bat. It's a bat. It's a retest of a bat down here around 37. Phantom is one that did run pretty hard, but this is it did the pullback off the peak, 50% correction no less, and still came back for another type 2. Somewhere here in 35 cents, 37 cents to go back to 55, but that should be about it. But that's setting up. Okay, and this one looks a little bit better than some of these that haven't run at all. And then here's this render. Somebody's got to explain this one to me of why this thing's holding up. But 165 on render on the daily. Check this out. So we've had a few patterns on this render. Let me go to the back-to-back. I think it's on the tether pair. No. Which one was it? Binance US? Here it was. It was Binance. So it's a 2 of 2, but the thing that happened with render and this, bouncing off of harmonic levels, but still range bound. It looks like you're in the midst of another reaction here. 165 is a floor. And 3 days ago, you did get a yellow dot where we could come back up for one more test above 2. As high as 230 on this move. Still range bound. When you generate counter HSI signals like this, nice 2 of 2, but you run right into HSI and you stabilize for 5 days, 4 or 5 days, start to turn up, you'll go back into the zone. I think you could trade that up to the 220, 230 area. I think a retest of the hop, likely in this instant, but that's it. That is it, and you got to go on here, the 4-hour chart. Check out the bat pattern. So all of that is at 165 on render, and that's just ping-ponging. Just because I think it's going to come off of and the 230 area, 240 was super strong resistance. I'm not looking for a crash, but I'm looking for real defined, sizable percentage moves. So, 250 to 165 is a heck of a move. 25, 30% in a short period of time. That's crypto. A couple of more. Somebody wanted to look at AMP. I'll look at AMP. AMP was a smaller T-coin play. There's AMP. It's back down there at what, 0.003? Where'd that go? I don't have the right. That's Coinbase, but where's? Bear with me. That's not a good feed. Let me see what I'm. Probably need to add. I think I took off the Binance. Tether. That's good enough. I mean, just this is another T coin. I do remember this. What was this? Wasn't this weekly or something? I thought there was a pattern down here on AMP. Can you refresh my memory on this one? Make sure my settings are on. Yeah, I'm fine on that. I don't know what I thought there was something in this. I don't think so. I do know that a couple of the A cryptos starting in A. Here's Algo. So Algo is one we've been looking at 17.5 and went straight to 15.8. On a percentage basis, I don't like that, but in crypto basis, that's just simple overspill. I still say you're here to go to 22 cents, but it's a beautiful pattern. And there are some larger patterns that are down in that area as well. I think that's a weekly. There's some weekly levels down here around 16, 17 cents. Yeah. Also, the other one was Axie Infinity. AXS, and that was around 720. Hold on. There you go. There's the BAT. 677 is your 886 on that daily. And then there was another pattern down there. Oh, yeah, there was. Okay, so here was the Axie Infinity. Another real nice back-to-back setup, folks, where it was a type 1 off of that deep crab right at the low and then back down with a retest with another bat pattern. Retesting 723, so you're a little bit under 7. That's fine. And I would be looking at this $7 level. Really nice harmonic support, at least to get a reaction off of here. Might not go crazy, but 933 is not crazy to think we'd get some kind of movement like that. And sorry, here's something that has moved. This ARPA chain, and I missed this on the retest. And this was one I really was looking to set up. And down here, it was about 4 cents because of that retest. I know I mentioned this before. Take a look. Okay, bat pattern down here, big 886, basing for a while. What else is there? Hold on. I know there's something down there. There's something else down here on this ARPA chain. On the tether pair. Yeah, this was what it was. All right, so it's a big bat pattern off the top too. I like this kind of progress. That's typical of crypto to do a big blast and come back. But I would still say down here, somewhere around, 4 cents. You're only at 5 cents now, but this is another one where you got big patterns down there, everything around, 3.5 to 4 cents. Remember, you're positioning for the crypto halving cycle to begin, which I saw something recently where the targeted halving date is April 7th of 2024. April 10th, if anyone can correct me on that, basically, 11 months. And the Bitcoin halving cycle usually begins, you get some movement 6 months out. So if we're 5 months of more of, 5 months of more digestion, if you want to call it, or indigestion is a better way to call it for altcoins and all of these, shouldn't we be positioning for that, for daily patterns and 2 of 2? Type 2 daily patterns with confirmation would be the ideal setup to be looking for, no matter what, no matter where they are relative to the last 6 months, 8 months. But that's the thing where I would be considering. We want 2 of 2 patterns. Here's that APT tether. I think it's called Aptos type 1. No confirmation, but again, we've had a bunch of new patterns develop over the last 30 days. And I'm respecting that. I think, we should definitely be looking for these kind of formations no matter where they are. That's the absolute definitive structure. Here's ApeCoin, folks. Another one, back-to-back patterns and levels all over the place. This is why you get the software. You get the software because it's going to show you the patterns and levels automatically, where if I knew something about ApeCoin or I was in that community, I don't know. I really don't know about all these communities and the insane number of new coins that continue to get launched. It's be very careful out there. If you're looking at crypto, my recommendation is stick with the top 100 or 150 crypto, maybe top 200 crypto. Beyond that, you're pure speculation, and these people can be pulling rugs whenever they want. But here's ApeCoin. It's a initial reaction, goes from bullish shark to bearish bat, and now we're there right now with a new, fresh, bullish bat pattern where you go 325 to 436. Okay, and you have to be that precise. But looking for type 1 minimum off of that. And that's the kind of thing you want to see. Doesn't this have something? It's probably a full 886. Of course it is. If not full T coin. Yeah, full T coin. Because off the all-time wick high, that's practically a 90%. Where can we get a lot of data on that? Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty fair. 28 to 280. Yeah, that qualifies as a T coin. But you're just generating some signals now. And I think it's for the first time in a long time. Probably the first time since last fall is ApeCoin in a position where you could see something come off these lows. Despite last week. Listen, last week was kind of scary, but holding at the prescribed levels we talked about. A couple more. Someone wants to look at Near protocol. We talked about that a while back. And it's right back. Yeah, this is why. It was a butterfly, a hop level at 175. You're at 165 right here, right now. Confirmation generated, what was that? 2 weeks ago, down to that level. Pretty scary that it didn't reverse at all, but I mean, it's a T-coin situation, 90+%, and your longer term support is probably more like 160, 150. I think we've really been looking at this, looking at the butterfly around, what was the XA level? The hop level is 175, under 2 for sure. But just not doing it much. Again, some crypto doing things, other crypto really not. Kind of sideways action. Here's this Pepe thing. Again, another one that seems like a whole bunch of money bag type stuff. I've never heard of it until everyone started hyping it. But 4-hour time frame, maybe you've stabilized now after losing 75% of your corrective move of that big pop move. There you go. But at least in the 4-hour time frame, there's a couple of signals. And then Pepe trying to do another one right there. At least it's better. At least you have some signals here. If you were going to chase it, you start chasing it down here. Yeah, I just think it's this is another example of the numerous new coins that, look, you can get trapped into that, and if it doesn't work, sure, everyone talks about being in down here, but how many people are really in down here? Maybe after the first thrust and then a retest, you're hoping that this is another continuation thrust to at least go back and go to prior highs. But why wouldn't that be another SHIB or Doge that just does reaction and then comes right back down? Here's SHIB. Now this has got a real nice bat pattern down here, but the takeaway on SHIB is that, look, there's no moon. And this is just grinding in a lower range where every time you've gone to 1/1500th of a cent or 1,000th of a cent down to this, 8,600, 9,000th of a cent, whatever that is, you're just range bound. So if you're in something like that or any of these, you're just looking for reactive moves that are just quick, short pops. No moon phase. No moon phase, because even with something like this pattern in SHIB, you'd want 2 of 2. You'd want the 2 of 2. And you'd certainly want to see something off like a hop level, come back down and hit the hop like a lot of them did in January and then go. Just a lot of people getting worked up over things that, probably don't have any hope of materializing anything more than a reaction until later in the year or next year. Here's Sushi Swap. Thought this was interesting. You got patterns. You do have patterns. This last drop that happened last week. Look, it came in and fell into a whole bunch of zones. Sushi Swap's another one. Not touching it yet, not doing anything. I'm looking at it down here at 80 cents because that's been the support for going back a year, and you've got patterns at these lows. Are we almost there and oversold yet? Not quite. So a whole number of these, they're really T coins. They're not even altcoins. They're less than altcoins. They're not. And they need a heck of a lot more time. But a bunch of them are retesting big critical patterns that needed to get hit. Let's see if they hold. Couple other ones that caught my eye. So here's Brave, basic attention token. Another one that came back down, retested with this all-time bat pattern. So, and just squeezed where Your static support is really like 19 cents. Current static resistance is about 30 because forget the forget 2021 and 2022. This is the real range for it, from like I said, 30 cents on the top side, probably 19 on the bottom like that. And that's all I would expect. It's a great pattern. You should bounce a few times off of that 20-cent level. But again, I'm not going to consider anything more than that. And you have for basic attention token at 21 cent, we just had the retest of this crab. We had a crab pattern in March, and this sets us up where we should at least get a target to, maybe all the way back to retest that bat. But that's it. I'm not, again, we could easily swing back up, but not much more than that. Lizard King is asking probably the most asinine question of the year. Do these patterns really work, folks? Lizard King, I mean, are you new, man? Because just sit back and watch the framework. If you're not aware of the framework, or if you need more information to know whether or not the patterns work, I'm going to direct everybody to go to harmonictrader.com and sign up as a basic member and get the software. And again, I direct everyone to the TradingView software so that if you have a doubt like that, and I'm sorry to say it was an asinine question, not really asinine, I just think it's not informed. Why would we be even here? Okay, I mean, again, it's just I don't think it takes much for you to see the patterns working, and the things that we do in these sessions to highlight the reaction reversal dynamics. That's it. And a lot of things are just reactions in the current environment, and will continue to be. But you're going to get responses off the levels, but they're only going to go so far. Who wanted DOT? P20, Huawei. You want to look at Polkadot? Yeah, Polkadot's another one. So here we go on DOT. Right back down to retest. We have another 2 of 2 here on DOT. A couple of patterns, essentially $4.50, $5. We did the type 1. I know we talked about that for a while, and we've been looking for DOT to come back, and it almost got down there. I would still wait for it. It's at 5 even, or just a hair under 5 to register the type 2, and then it's on the retest. That's where the larger opportunity sits. Almost, but nice pattern right there at the low. Wasn't there, other than the weekly? The weekly is just another 95, 99% correction off the all-time high. But seriously, folks, what we're doing with the harmonic pattern framework and understanding of the levels there is to simply define where's the opportunity in crypto. Okay, because you got to boil it down to a price. I think a lot of people, especially like that hex thing, really surprised me, where people have been holding that forever and celebrating the fact that they got some kind of airdrop. But at the end of the day, really, are you up or down? And at what price level is the opportunity? And we use the pattern levels and the confirmation to define that for us. Something like DOT is a lot like Gala was 2 weeks ago. It has to come back in, re-hit some specific numbers, and then it would register a larger opportunity. There's a bunch of these that have set up like that. I'll just show 1 or 2 more and then move on to the big markets with S&P. But here's Compound, and I've mentioned this a few times. We're back-to-back patterns on this. I mean, there's Compound's 3 patterns in a row. And each one of them gave you not a massive move, but a sizable reactive move. There's one, there's two. Will we get a third one? The last few were down around 22, 25, up to 67, 31 to 61. Now retest this shark pattern that just completed, and back-to-back sharks really. And I think that's somewhere down here, 33, maybe $30. You literally just triggered confirmation. So the first time we even consider this was yesterday. I want to see that check back on compound at 34 even, and then give me a yellow dot. So you might be 2 or 3 more days before you see that turn around, but you're really close to major levels. And that's why we're looking at patterns. That's why we're looking at these levels with confirmation. At what price? What price? And this would still only be a type 1 reaction. We take it up to 48.66. That's it. Nothing more than that. That's where we are. If we came back one more time, let's say we did something like this where you could finally get a 2 of 2, little bump up from 30 something to 48, and then back down later this summer into the fall. That's the kind of thing you're looking for across the board with all of these. Form the pattern, react, retest, and then it is later this fall or later this year to set up something that could really go. Couple more. I do want to look at Coinbase as a segue over to stocks. And I think Coinbase is one that should be watched because we've hit the hop level. It's a pretty large pattern. Around 49 a few times now since we made the low. And it's a deep crab at the low on your daily chart. Just generated a bearish HSI yesterday. And we continue to be squeezed. So, actually it was 2 days ago. Yesterday was the check back. So I'm looking and I'm thinking Coinbase is going to come back down. We had a gap from about 2 weeks ago. We could come back and retest this one more time. 48, 49, $50. This is going to set up for an opportunity. I'm looking for this HSI to bring it down maybe one more time. And here's the thing that a little bit different than last year. Okay, you're clearly to the right of that downtrend and developing some bullish signals, confirmation signals at 48, 49 here. That's to the right of the downtrend. So keep an eye on Coinbase. I mean, it's an ugly chart. Looks like a knife on the weekly, but $50 has been holding. I just don't want to get complacent and think, all right, it's going to zero when it does this a number of times that says, okay, maybe the next time at $50, we should be looking at that. Gala just fell apart. Let's look at it. Where'd it go? Gala didn't fall apart. Gala's sitting right at 2.8. I don't know why you're saying that, William. 2.8, 2.9 has been the whole time. Yeah, I don't know why you said that. I mean, actually, Gala's starting to break up. Coinbase was just halted. Something's going on. Meta looks like it's about to break out to new highs. Let's jump over there. I mean, look at Gala. Something's up here, folks. Look, I think Gala is actually one of the most ideal confirmation setups I've seen in a long time. It's a perfect type 2. It is the 2 of 2 concept where the pattern gave you the reaction, then comes back for the reversal, retests the zone, stabilizes within a 5-bar window. It was delisted from Coinbase. That's fine. Was that the news that sent it lower? Cactus Leo? Don't know. Let's go take a quick look. Get into SPY, get into QQQ. Yeah, someday someone's going to explain the airdrop concept and how they just print these out of thin air. Here we are, folks. Look at this insane action. Let's just highlight the last 30 days. Looks like this. Go backwards here. There's the last 30 days. Essentially where we were 30 days ago. Not a heck of a lot of range. Our last confirmation is a bullish confirmation. So our thought here is that, look, there's a yellow dot from last week, and you retested that, holding the low, holding the low. Not a really impressive day, but what you really need to see for SPY is a breakout and close above, call it 414, to really trigger a deeper test of that bearish zone. Because, yeah, we're sitting in the zone of a bearish bat, excuse me. And let me clean this up. So that bearish bat pattern, we looked at this a few weeks ago, completed on the 13th of April. Right at 414 was the number we talked about. And then we got the reaction we were looking for, just and almost perfectly to the 403 target, but then we generated HSI as our counter signal. So what that tells us, this is all reaction. And even though this hasn't done a heck of a lot, I'm still looking for the bearish signal confirmation up here higher above the 113 level on a retest of this bat area. 420, 423 is more like it. All we need to see is a 3-bar breakout. The last 3-day range, again, is simply above 414 close. Would be strong enough, in my opinion. Definitely squeezed. Trading action has not been trending well at all in the last month, but that's where we are. And the QQQ, a little similar, similar. A little bit stronger. There you go. Popping high of the day now at 328.78. And the big deal just since Thursday really was the fact that, look, we hit the swing 886. That's the biggest structural test we have hit since last summer's peak. And you're now not only at the 886, you're breaking out above it. And that's where that sun icon, that's why that sun icon is so critical. So we'll look at that entire range and something that, until I can generate, give me some kind of confirmation, because you're not there yet. Look at what's the trend of your HSI? Firmly up. Looks like this. Our last bullish signal. And we want to ride that trend line up to the next one. So since that signal, and I've been talking about why that counter HSI is going to be kind of a push higher up into that range, into that zone. I mean, we could run for the hop by the summer to 345. Basically 3% higher to 5% higher on this move. Pretty impressive. And the fact that we've been squeezed for the last month, yet we continue higher, really important. So yes, there's a bearish pattern here, but exactly why we look for confirmation at the pattern completion point and respect the price action at the pattern completion point. So definitely the last signal bullish down here at 314, continuing higher 328. We'll look for the next signal. Again, I think it's above 330, could be as high as 345. But where you are now is not anywhere close to giving you an opportunity for what that bearish pattern signaling. Just look for that continuation higher in the zone. And until we get that trigger, this HSI trigger, that's still up. That hasn't changed. And a lot of that's Microsoft. Microsoft and Apple, I would have to say, are the two that are bringing that up. I don't expect that to change either, especially Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft, Meta, Google, Amazon, be looking at all of those all summer long. Someone saying Gala burned 21 billion tokens yesterday. That's pretty good. Gala moons in 2024. All right. Look, Gala is a 2 of 2. So Gala has the pattern qualities that I would say, yeah, if that was the spot, it has 2 of 2 with confirmation. Not a bad place. That 2.9 cents, 3 cent level. I'm fine with that. Really quick, the SPY and the Qs, they will grind higher until you trigger something on the daily. And led by the likes of Microsoft, look, another similar to Qs, you've got a bearish pattern, but again, no confirmation. All right, the pattern, great. It's a starting point. But unless we have confirmation in that area, you don't have a trade opportunity yet. Take a look at where you are. Last one was bullish. And HSI trending back up, making a new high for the year again today. For the year, new highs. And looks like amplified, about to head back up. So, look, target on Microsoft, I think 330 is logical, and I've said this, and I think this is probably the most important stock in the entire market at the moment. And I do think this overall attempted move to the 886, it's one of my primary arguments of why we'll continue to drift higher in the markets in general. And that's it. 886 is 335 on Microsoft. I've been saying 340 for a while. I'll say 335. And you're trading 312, 313 at the moment. Keep an eye on all those. All right, a few more. One or two that I'm looking at. I think some of the guys brought this up recently in the Discord. Cloudflare. Looks like that last sell-off was pretty much an exhaustion. You're off the 40 low here. It bounced pretty hard. I'm looking at that on a retest at 43. Plenty of time on that, but it's down there. What was the other one? There was another big one. It escapes me. Daniel's got a couple. Daniel, what's going on? Daniel wants to look at Pinterest. Here's Pinterest. Beautiful bat pattern. No confirmation on the weekly yet. Daily, that's a little bit better. There you go. Check that out. There was a bat pattern at that 28 level. Really nice with a yellow dot. Now 21. That's actually a type 2. Give me a yellow dot. If I was looking at Pinterest, I'd want to see a yellow dot down here, and that would have to retest $20 and change. So not really. I mean, give it time. We'll keep an eye on it. You had one or two more. What's PHG? Phillips. That's an ADR. No, I got nothing on that one. What'd you have on that? I mean, that's definitely, it's destroyed. Probably because, isn't that a Dutch company? Pretty sure it is. There's your monthly chart. Yeah, I think I would want to see something better, different. Who's got that one for BKD? Daniel's got BKD again. All right, Daniel, give you one more here. Brookdale Senior Living. Boy, I remember when that IPO came out. 2007. Monthly, it's a Gartley. All the way at 232. But look at that. I mean, look, probably the same on a weekly. Sure is. I'll say this about these $3 stocks. If they don't move, you got to scratch it. And you get a lot of reactions. That's about it. I would want to see a 2 of 2. Something like this. It's, maybe you get to 482 and then come back down to retest. So it's kind of early. Here's a one. I think I mentioned this before. Pitney Bowes on a daily. Yeah, daily. It's perfect example of like one of these $3 stocks. And yeah, sometimes they really take off and explode. That's a type 2, but I would only expect that to go to like target 2. That's one I'm looking at, but it's a low floater that there's probably better ones to go in, or it's probably just better to stay in these big mega cap tech. Couple of more. Tesla, sure. Tesla's another one that's doesn't seem like it's going to get off the lows, seems troubled, but you got patterns there. You got this shark pattern on the daily. 168 is the 886 off of that shark. It's a type 2. It's just not really moving yet. What's the daily 4-hour? Not a heck of a lot there. On the 4-hour, that shows the shark even better. But you haven't had any confirmation since 158. Probably one of these where, give me a 5-minute pattern on something like this. And you don't have much. You really don't have much on Tesla at the moment. I mean, maybe back down at 165. But you try to chase Tesla and you don't have anything, you could be sitting for a while. Yeah, you do have the 165 level with that crab pattern. I'm certainly looking at them. I was in Netflix this morning, didn't do anything at all. Here's Netflix, just to show you this. Yeah, look, did nothing. Got myself a dot early this morning, just sideways grind. Did nothing all morning. I'm still looking at Netflix because maybe that pops later. 333 is basically got to be the low, 332.80. And I'm still looking for 340 up here to go to this target one, 339.55. Just not doing much today. Versus Microsoft, which popped hard. What's up, Scotty? Yeah, ADM, Archer Daniels, Midland. Getting clocked. What's that look like? What's that, daily? Bat. A few things. Crab, bat, shark, $72. I kind of like that one, but this is a slower mover where the confirmation's here. 74 is probably the number, but I would want to wait. This kind of price action, and you're a downtrend for 6 months. I need to see a 3-bar breakout on the daily. You'll just look at the last 7, 8 sessions. I mean, just continue lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Give me a 3-bar breakout. Like breakout above 76. to then get going to something that could lead to something larger. I'm not there yet. Yeah, you have a yellow dot. Your levels are a little lower, I would say. Not a bad idea on a weekly. Anything there on a weekly? You're checking back, but even all right. So this is a good little lesson for us. If you're looking for things like these slower movers, you really want to see them have a yellow dot, like down here. We have a green arrow. Okay, check back, but look. Do we have one green week? Not yet. I would wait for at least 2 green weeks before that really triggers that says, maybe this 75 area is your long-term support, which it could be, to go back to retest the all-time high, 95. It's not a bad idea, but again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks down, straight down 5 weeks, I can be patient. Something like that. You're just early. What are the ways to not be early? Be as close as possible. A few more. You guys are firing them today. Snowflake. That is one I was looking at. Because look at that pattern. That's a beauty. No confirmation though. Boy, that's a shame. Really close, but it's and it's still a type 1. But 125 was support. You did not check back that HSI signal. Came really close. The low was 120.13. Actually, you did check that. Why didn't that? Hold on 1 second. You did check that back. There it did. You checked it back actually in January. So why didn't we get? Oh, I know why we didn't get a dot. Just to let everybody know. Okay, so we had an HSI. This is Snowflake. This is another high flyer. You registered HSI. You checked back, but this check back was more than 30 bars since the signal. That's one of the filters. You would actually have a yellow dot here, which you held 135, now 171. I'll look at that. That one escaped me. So I didn't really see the dot. Maybe this is something you wait for on a 5-minute basis. It's flashing a type 2 shark right now, hitting resistance at 172, but maybe back at 168. You never want to chase those. You got a few things here where you're hitting a lot of bearish resistance in the 170 general level, maybe 167, 168. Got to be patient with these. Sure, Moderna. I hope that's 0 by now. I mean, not unless you're long it, but I know we had some bearish things on that recently. Yeah, what was this? Couple of sharks. I know like 180, 190 was resistance, but now you're back down. Bat pattern, shark pattern, 120 area. I'm not crazy about it, but technically at 122, you can start looking. I think you can start looking at 122 for this, for some kind of a bounce, but just get the longer term objective or picture. And I think this is, when you see these kind of charts longer term, they go back 3 or 5 years, something, even, whatever the case study is, something like this is destined for a full 886 reset. And that's where I think, 62, you eventually go on Moderna. Why? Because this is just a big distribution curve. You had the big craze on the way up. Now you got to distribute it back, all 88.6% of that. Yeah. Yep. I don't like him either, Scotty. I don't, but it is what it is. JP says Mitch thinks Square looks interesting. I'll listen to anything Mitch says. Yeah, well, we've had a shark here on Square for a while, but there's a lot of these big weekly patterns that haven't really triggered anything yet. All right, there you go. You have a couple of patterns down here now. But maybe back, you're almost there. 55, 50 bucks. Where we oversold? Not yet. Not really oversold. That last signal from March, I think it's too far behind us. Let me see here. 4 hour. Yeah, another one, keep my eye on it. A bunch of those that moved that definitely had big patterns and moved. There's a bunch of those like Microsoft and Amazon and Google that did move, but then there's a lot like Square and Zoom and Roku, Teladoc. They didn't move. Others are maybe starting to move. Like Snowflake's probably one that I would look at that's made better progress than this block, but I don't want to be dismissive of it. All right, let's circle back here. Just take a quick look at the SPY one more time. Do we have any midday dot thing to consider? Yeah, we've been here for a little while, going on an hour and 20. I'm looking for a midday opportunity in the SPY. What do I have? Not much. Really didn't generate. I mean, it's been kind of a slow day. Are we getting into the summer? Look at that range. That's a crazy range for the SPY for the, all except for that first dip, 410 to 413 is it. Not much there. I still think it's more. Here's Amazon, actually. Some nice continuation, little crab pattern for today, but it's continuing to progress higher. Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Google, these are the ones you want to focus on. Here's Amazon on the weekly. I'm going to say Amazon's going to just continue to tick up until we get to at least target 120 to 39. And the others, Google and Meta. There's Google. Man, Google is on fire now. I think 125.88. That is on fire, man. What's that up? Another 348. And beautiful bearish pattern. Again, someone asked earlier in the session if harmonic patterns work. They do work if you know how to interpret it, read the information, what to be looking for as a pattern completes, because the software does the work for us, but we still need confirmation. We still need to make the determination. Do you have any bearish confirmation up here? No. It's a daily bearish pattern, but look, you blasted into that zone, hitting your numbers as you gap up into that range. That's strength. We have no yellow dot. We've done nothing. And if anything, you see something like that, use the whole zone. Again, the hop level at 125. Likely target on this move. It's either the hop or wherever I see HSI trigger with a dot. And we are overbought on HSI right there, but it hasn't come out. So you're still early. And then look what Amplified's done. I mean, you're deep overbought. There you go. And as long as that stays up in the overbought range, that will continue higher. I think, 125 on this move structurally before you generate some kind of confirmation is likely. Well, a lot going on there. Who said Baba? Mike said Baba, and I agree with Baba. And we talked about Baba recently. Baba is this on a weekly, and we're just putting up a dot potentially this week. So here you go. I mean, big pattern. It's a crab pattern down to 77, but we get a bullish close this week. Okay, that's going to be the first trigger we've seen of a yellow dot since pattern completion back here. And that's important. So you're 89 currently. Your confirmation really is around 86. What's at stake here for Baba is 157. So some of these that put in big patterns, weeklies especially, are coming to life after a lot of sideways action. Here's Baidu. I know that had another one that was similar. But that was a daily. Wasn't that? Yeah, it's this. It's a big bat pattern in the daily. Oh, the other one was JD.com. I think I mentioned that to the crew. This is a weekly 2 of 2. There you go. With a dot. So a couple of those Chinese ADRs are in a real nice position that has a better look. See the difference? I mean, it's pretty clear. There's the first reaction to target 1. That helps the harmonic. Really helps to tell us that, hey, if you can do a reaction and then get rejected, come back, stabilize exactly at the XA level, and then now we generate a yellow dot here. That's the same deal. You go to target 1 minimum. I like those. I like those. All right, Daniel, I'm going to get one more off your list and then we'll be done. I don't know. We just talked to Baba. Scroll back 3 minutes ago. What's Angie's list doing, Daniel? It's another one of these low floaters. So this is that Angie's list, ANGI. 214 is the low, is the 113. Nice chart, my friend. Thank you for recommending that. I knew one of those would give you something. Again, a low floater where I think, if you're going to take a shot on that, just reduce your volume. Don't go huge, don't go heavy on it. But if it is a successful type 1, it should go to $11 from 250. Not a bad thought. I just think it's in this environment, there's probably better to stay with the mega tech. Better to stay with the Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and allocate less to these kind of plays. They do work out, and here's just kind of wrap up on one of our low floaters that has worked, continues to work, which is Travel Zoo. And this will give you an idea of what's possible with these kind of patterns. Look at that. Travel Zoo right under 5. It's now almost 10. Target 1 is 10.11. But you got to get moving. Like once the pattern completes, you need to see development within that 10, 20 bar window. That's a weekly chart. And there's other ones of these that haven't done as well, but that's an example of a low floater doing what it should do. We'll look at more of those on Thursday, folks. Yeah, let's save gold metals for Thursday because I think, there's still some time on those that they're setting up. And we'll take a crude oil. Crude oil is the same deal. It's setting up on the bullish side, but probably needs a few more days. So we'll circle back then on Thursday. But listen, folks, jump over to harmonictrader.com right here. And if you don't know if harmonic patterns work or not, please avail yourself to the free information here. All the books, all the videos. It doesn't take time. It doesn't take long to see all the dynamics that we talk about. They repeat over and over again. Doesn't matter time frame, what market. There are specific metrics, levels process that we employ, okay, that is the harmonic pattern framework that highlights these opportunities and of everything we just went through. The place to start, again, for the TradingView platform, send your username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. So I want to give, for everybody that has hung in here, give you a little teaser for what we'll talk about on Thursday. Okay, so recently activated full real-time option platform to do analysis on option charts. And so what we're looking for are patterns in the option symbols themselves. So I'll get into this on Thursday, but it looks like this. And I'll show you how to get a hold of this. I'm working off the eSignal platform, but we want to be looking for option patterns in the option prices as much as the underlying. So I'll be talking about that on Thursday. So come on back, a special options session on Thursday, and we'll give away a couple books and software. All right, I'll give away some eSignals so that you guys can activate options feeds and take a look at that. So come on back Thursday, 12 noon Eastern. Until then, have a great one. As always, go get them, and we'll see you on Thursday. Thanks, folks.